So we are at data integration, and then we have seen what do you mean by data integration. So it combines the data from multiple sources into a coherent store. It means that the data will be from multiple sources. So it may have multiple formats, like we have the tables, we have flat files, or we have a big data warehouses. So ये सारा data इकट्ठा we need to store at one place, which is a coherent. It means that it is matching with a data which is required. तो एक coherent place पे उसे डेटा इंटीग्रेट करके रखना है हमें, राइट. एंड फॉर दैट वी गेट मल्टीपल प्रॉब्लम्स. द प्रॉब्लम्स कैन बी द स्कीमा इंटीग्रेशन प्रॉब्लम or the entity identification problem, or detecting and resolving the values of conflict. So in integration we have multiple problems which are failed. तो schema integration problem ऐसे हो सकता है कि जैसे कि आपके पास दो बैंक है, बैंक ए और बैंक बी. बैंक ए कस्टमर आईडी को कस्ट आईडी करके स्टोर करता है एंड बैंक बी कस्टमर आईडी को जस्ट हैश आईडी करके स्टोर करता है, करेक्ट. तो इसका मीनिंग क्या हुआ कि एक ही चीज है, ये एक ही चीज को दोनों बैंक्स अलग अलग तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, राइट. तो ये अलग अलग तरीके से जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, बट एट द एंड इट इज अ कस्टमर आईडी. तो हमें क्या चाहिए, हमें चाहिए कि मशीन शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि ये कस्टमर आईडी ही है, और इस आईडी को they need to say it should get mapped to a single column in my resultant database or resultant coherent data store. So this is my schema integration problem, right? In my entity identification problem, see this we need to identify the real world entities from multiple data sources. For example, Bill Clinton, William Clinton, like this जो सिंगल एंटिटी है उसे मल्टीपल डेटा सोर्सेस से हमें आइडेंटिफाई करनी है. एंड लास्टली इज लाइक डिटेक्टिंग एंड रिजॉल्विंग अ डेटा वैल्यू कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स फ्रॉम द रियल वर्ल्ड एंटिटी. एट्रीब्यूट वैल्यूज फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट सोर्सेस आर डिफरेंट, करेक्ट. तो फॉर एग्जांपल कि जैसे कि हम डॉलर्स हम रुपीस में मनी रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. इफ आई गो टू यूएस इट इज रिप्रेजेंटेड इन डॉलर्स. सो दिस इज अ सेल्स मनी, but US में the sales is represented in dollars, and in my India the sales is represented in rupees. But at the end when I am going to merge the data or I am going to integrate the data, the rupees should get properly converted to dollar, or dollar should get converted properly to rupees, because I want to know the sale of that particular product in US and India together. So I have to map it to either one of the entity, correct. So these are the few problems which we generally face in data integration, correct. देन डेटा इंटीग्रेशन में और एक होता है कि रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल को रिमूव करना. बट हाउ वी विल आइडेंटिफाई दिस रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल्स? सी दिस रिडंडेंट एट्रीब्यूट्स may be able to be detected by correlation analysis and covariance analysis, correct. अब देखते हैं कि रिडंडेंट डेटा क्या है. सी रिडंडेंट डेटा इंटीग्रेशन मल्टीपल डेटाबेस से जब हम इंटीग्रेट करते हैं तो रिडंडेंट डेटा we can get, right. For example, object identification, it means what? The same attribute or object may have a different names in a different databases, the way when I said about the customer ID. Or you have the derived data, that is derivable attribute. So one attribute may be derived from the another attribute. For example, आपका age can be derived from date of birth, correct. So these redundant attributes are to be identified, and we see for the analysis purpose it will be very much beneficial if we have a selected features or the selected attributes of the data set only. If I have this redundant attributes, then I am, it is like I am applying my logic, or I am working on the thing which is redundant, which is again not useful for me, right. So I have to रिमूव दिस रिडंडेंट एट्रीब्यूट सो दैट मुझे स्टडी का स्कोप लिमिटेड हो जाए एंड माई स्टडी इज फोकसिंग ऑन द इम्पॉर्टेंट सिलेक्टेड एट्रीब्यूट्स ओनली, and not my focus is not getting diverted towards the redundant attributes. And that's the reason the main task in the data integration is to handle the redundancy. अब ये redundant attributes कैसे आप find out करोगे? तो correlation analysis से, या कोवेरियंस एनालिसिस से, करेक्ट. हाउ, if your attributes are strongly correlated, then we say that they are redundant. तो एक ही एट्रीब्यूट को हमने रखा स्टडी के लिए तो भी काफी है, क्योंकि दूसरा एट्रीब्यूट एनीवेज इस एट्रीब्यूट से स्ट्रांगली रिलेटेड है, करेक्ट. सो दिस इज हाउ आई डू द कोरिलेशन analysis. This is what I do in correlation analysis, and then from that I understand whether my attribute is redundant or not. So careful integration of the data from multiple sources may help reduce, avoid redundancies and inconsistencies, and improve my mining speed and quality. Correct. So for this purpose, I have a chi-square test. Now you all please listen carefully. We will look into the chi-square test. अभी ये chi-square test is generally helpful in the nominal data. Now what's this chi-square test? See, you all can see the formula over here, the chi-square test ka. Correct. What does the chi-square test formula says? It says that the summation of observed minus expected ka square divided by expected. Correct. So this is my chi-square test. Right. And what does this? It says the largest the chi-square value, the more likely the variables are related. The cells that contribute the most to chi-square value are those whose actual count is very different from the expected count. Right. So let us see the example of this. So look at the screen, and I will tell you how to read this screen now. अभी यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? See, it is a data set which contains the information about say students who play chess, who do not play chess, and who like to have the science fiction, who has the liking towards the science fiction, and who does not like to read the science fiction, correct, or who doesn't have the liking for the science fiction. Now here I get a concept of hypothesis defining. Right, I have a null hypothesis which you can say as H0, and I can say that playing the chess and liking the science fiction is strongly correlated. Correct. And I can say that the alternate hypothesis is they are not at all related. Correct. Now here, see, we will look into only the formula. Right. So here in the table, you can see something is written and some numbers are written in the brackets. So numbers which are not there in a brackets are my observed. See here you can see observed hai and expected hai. So these are my observed value. And the numbers which are written in the brackets are expected values. So you can see here numbers in the parenthesis are expected counts, right? Now it is calculated based on the data distribution in two categories. So let us see how this expected counts are calculated. Okay, so we will go back to my Excel, and from there I will show you how this is calculated. Correct. So here we are at chi-square test. This was my observed value table. You can see here, this is my observed value table. Here it is same as what I have given in my PPT. So here the people who play the chess and who like the science fiction is the count is 250. People who like the science fiction but do not play chess, the count is 200. People who play the chess and not like the science fiction, the count is 50. And the one who doesn't like the science fiction as well as doesn't play the chess is a count is 1000. Correct. And simply over here I have the sum of rows and sum of columns, and this is my total sum. Correct. This is very simple and this is given to me in my examination. See what will be given to me. I will be having this, and then what I am supposed to do, I am supposed to calculate the sum of this. So this is how I will have a sum, and even I will have the sum of this also. Here also I will have a column wise sum. Correct. The one for who play the chess, and the sum for the one who doesn't play the chase, correct? So this is how I will have the sum of it, and then I will have a total sum. So over here I can say that, let me add this, and fine. So here this is my total number of students, and this is the observed value from the students. I observed that the 250 number of students play chess as well as they have a liking in science fiction. I observed that 200 number of students doesn't play the chess, but they have the liking in science fiction. I observed that 50 students play the chess and they do not like science fiction. And then my next observation is there are 1,000 students who does not play the chess and even doesn't like the science fiction as well. Correct? So this is my observation. I just made the summation of my observation. Correct. Now you must have seen there is expected value which was written in the brackets. So this, how to calculate this expected value? This expected value, you can see here, this expected value is, see, suppose I want to calculate the expected value of this play chase, correct? I want to calculate the expected value of play chase. So how I will calculate? So this is equal to, I want to calculate the expected value of the students who play chess and they have the liking in science fiction, both. So it will be the summation of this row and into the summation of this column divided by total number of students, right? So this will be, this is equal to this into summation of the students who play the chess divided by total number of students. So this is what my expected value of the students who play the chess. Then I will be calculating the expected value of the students who doesn't play the chess. So it will be again, it is here who does not play the chess and who likes the fiction. So it will be the sum of row who like the fiction into sum of columns who does not play the chess divided by total number of students. Correct. Then I move to this value, the students who play chess and who does not like science fiction. So it will be again the sum of value of the students who play chess into the sum of value who doesn't like the science fiction divided by total number of students. And lastly, I will have the expected value of students who does not play the chess and who does not like the science fiction also. So this is equal to the sum of value of columns who do not play the chess, correct? And the sum of values of the rows who doesn't like the science fiction divided by total number of students, correct? And then again everywhere I will have the summation of rows and summation of columns. So let me have the summation of column here, correct? 450 and this, and then together I will have the sum of all values. That is going to be same as 1500. So here I have built my observed values table and my expected values table, correct? What I did, I have a separate observed values table, and from this observed values table, which is my actual observed values, right? So what generally what I said, when I told you about the data collection methods, there are primary data collection methods, there are secondary data collection method, correct? So data collection method में क्या बोला था मैंने कि the person do the observation and those observations are recorded. तो ये है कि मैंने जो ऑब्जर्व किया, एक क्लास था 1500 स्टूडेंट्स का, या फिर आई कंसिडर 3 क्लासेस ऑफ 1500 स्टूडेंट्स एंड आई ऑब्जर्व समथिंग and that observed values are tabulated. So what do you mean? That those observed values are recorded. So from observed values, now I want to make some analysis from observed values, right? What in analysis I want to make? Whether these parameters are related or they are non-related at all. Like suppose they are related, it means क्या है कि if I improve the interest of a students in science fiction, then they will have more inclination towards playing the chess, right? So this is what I can say, it is a positive relation, right? But if I get a relation like this, ki, students having more interest in science fiction are less interested in playing chess, right? So then it is my negative relation, because एक वैल्यू बढ़ता है, साइंस फिक्शन के लाइकिंग का वैल्यू बढ़ता है, तो चेस खेलने का वैल्यू कम हो जाता है, करेक्ट? सो इट्स माय नेगेटिव रिलेशन. एंड इफ इट इज लाइक समथिंग कि हाँ बाबा इसमें कोई रिलेशन ही नहीं है, if the student wish they play the chess, if they wish they read the science fiction, कोई relation ही नहीं है दोनों parameters में. So what I'm doing here कि I am trying to find out the relation between two variables which will make me helpful for further experimentation और further से proposals. जैसे कि suppose ये दोनों values strongly correlated, तो कल मैं क्या करूंगी, कल मेरे लाइब्रेरी में मैं साइंस फिक्शन के बुक्स बढ़ा दूंगी, तो मेरे स्टूडेंट्स का चेस प्लेइंग का इंक्लिनेशन भी बढ़ेगा. एंड फ्रॉम दैट आई मे हैव द नेशनल प्लेयर who can play at national level and win a medal for my institute, right? So for having something in my future, for predicting something good in the future, I must analyze the current data in my hand. And from that, so how do I do the analysis of that current data? With help of mathematics, or you can say the statistics. Correct. So as at the initial, during the first lecture, when I was telling you the things which are there in a data science. So now I hope you must have understood why this mathematics or statistics play very much important role in a data science, right? Because mathematics is a tool which actually gives the support to your prediction, which actually tells you where the trend is going on, or which actually tells you कि what those numbers says. नंबर जैसे खुद उठ के तो कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे ना, और एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग आई कैन से वेरी इजीली आल्सो समटाइम्स कि हाँ बाबा ये ऐसा है, बट माय मशीन शुड टेल मी समथिंग. माय मशीन शुड टेल मी द रिलेशन बिटवीन टू पैरामीटर्स. तो सपोज मैंने मशीन में ही ये चाई स्क्वायर टेस्ट का फॉर्मूला फीड किया, राइट, और मशीन को बोला मैंने कि सपोज ये चाई स्क्वायर टेस्ट के आंसर ऐसे आते हैं, इसका मतलब ये स्ट्रांगली रिलेटेड है. तो इसके आगे मशीन के पास लैक्स ऑफ डेटा, थाउजेंड्स ऑफ डेटा, करोड़ ऑफ डेटा, कोई भी डेटा है तो मशीन विल बी एबल टू इजीली प्रेडिक्ट अबाउट इट, करेक्ट? सो इट विल बी ऑटोमेटेड, right? My analysis will be automated, which will help me for the future decisions, right? And that's the reason we say that this machine learning, data science are very much correlated terms, right? So now going back to this chi-square test, we will go back to PPT now. I hope you have understood the expected value and observed value thing, correct? Now going back to the slides. Now here you have seen the formula in the previous slide. क्या लिखा था? Observed minus expected का square divided by expected, correct? And summation of this. I hope you understand this symbol. ये this is my summation वाला symbol, correct? So summation of observed minus expected का square divided by my expected value, correct? Now going back to the table again, I have told you how we have calculated ये bracket वाला values 90, 360. So that is my expected value, and the one which is not there is my observed value. So let me fill that everything in my formula. So observed minus expected the square. So I have 250 minus 90 ka square divided by expected, that is my 90. As it is a summation, so I will have summation of all. So then I have observed kitna hai, not like science fiction and play chess ka. Observed is 50 minus 210, the whole square divided by 210, that is my expected. Now here you must have realized why do we have the squares everywhere. अब मुझे बताओ 50 माइनस 210 का आंसर निगेटिव आएगा, करेक्ट? अब ये आंसर सपोज निगेटिव हो रहा है, तो निगेटिव तो हम समेशन करेंगे तो योर वैल्यूज निगेटिव पॉजिटिव में नलीफाई ईच अदर, और जो इम्पैक्ट था आपके कैलकुलेशंस का या आपके वैल्यूज का वो नलीफाई हो रहा है, राइट? एंड फॉर दैट आई नीड एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू, बिकॉज आई वांट टू नो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑब्जर्व्ड एंड एक्सपेक्टेड. I don't want to know whether it is a negative or positive. I just want to know the difference between the expected and observed. करेक्ट। और इसके लिए जनरली इन द स्टैटिस्टिक्स व्हेनेवर वी हैव इन द फॉर्मूलाज व्हेनेवर वी हैव द स्क्वायर वाला टर्म, दिस स्क्वायर टर्म ऑलवेज हेल्प अस टू नलीफाई द इफेक्ट ऑफ नेगेटिव नंबर्स। गेटिंग दिस कि कोई भी फॉर्मूलाज में मोस्टली जो कोई स्टैटिस्टिक के फॉर्मूलाज है जहाँ पे आपको स्क्वायर कर रहे हो आप जनरली, वो स्क्वायर क्यों होता है? क्योंकि आपको निगेटिव, यू डोंट वांट द इफेक्ट ऑफ निगेटिव थिंग्स ओवर देयर. To nullify the effect of negative numbers, we have the squares over here. Okay, so moving back to our values again. So the students who does not play the chess and who like the science fiction, the values are 200 as observed and 360 as expected. So we do 200 minus 360 ka square divided by 360. And the last one is the students who doesn't play the chess and even doesn't like the science fiction as well. So here I have 1000 observed values and minus expected was 840. Uska square divided by expected. Correct. So these all value, this a complete calculation comes as 507.93. Correct. Now, as I said earlier, if this chi-square value is very high, it means that the things are related. Correct. Even in few of the things you may find that when I define the hypothesis and I have the alternate hypothesis, there is alpha level also, significance level, which is defined as 0.05. And then we go to the table of chi-square, and over there we first check, we find out the value over there. Correct. So here in general, when we want to do the predictions for this chi-square test, or just for the redundancy or whether the variables are related or unrelated, if that value is very high, it means that my variables are correlated, my attributes, or I can say my features are correlated. Correct. So this shows that the student like the science fiction and plays chess are strongly correlated. अभी इसका आगे फर्दर इम्प्लीकेशन, अभी ये तो हुआ कि ये कोरिलेटेड है, राइट? तो इसका इम्प्लीकेशन क्या हुआ? इम्प्लीकेशन डेटा इंटीग्रेशन में ऐसे हुआ कि आई कैन रिमूव वन ऑफ द कॉलम, I can remove the column of playing chess. I can just only keep the column or the attribute of just reading fictions. करेक्ट. क्योंकि रिडंडेंट, जितने ज्यादा रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल्स आपके पास है उतना आपके स्टडी के लिए योर स्टडी विल बिकम हेवियर बिकॉज ऑफ इट, right? I need a distinct features to study. I don't need correlated features for studies or correlated features for analysis. क्योंकि then it improves it because of it my dimensions are getting increased. डायमेंशन, अट्रीब्यूट्स को डायमेंशंस भी कहते हैं, हमने देखा था ये व्हेन वी वर स्टडीइंग आवर अट्रीब्यूट्स, राइट? तो जितने ज्यादा अट्रीब्यूट है उतना ज्यादा आपका स्टडी का डायमेंशन बढ़ता है. करेक्ट. And what I need for my any of the study, I need distinct variables for my studies. I need distinct variables for my studies. Correct. And thus I see the way I said that there is a age and date of birth का attributes, right? Now date of birth से आप age निकाल सकते हो, right? So do this age required? Do this both attributes are required for my study? Suppose my study is to give the loan or not to give the loan, right? So I am a bank and I want to decide whether I should give the loan to one of the person. So for that I may go and I may check my history. I will go for the analysis, or for that analysis purpose I have multiple things, say occupation, age, I have date of birth, I have salary, I have the area, I have the background information, like this. तो एज और डेट ऑफ बर्थ तो रिलेटेड है. दिस वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज वी नो डायरेक्टली कि एज एंड डेट ऑफ बर्थ रिलेटेड है. एक से दूसरा हम डिराइव कर सकते हैं, राइट? एज वी कैन डिराइव डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम डेट ऑफ बर्थ. But looking at this, the students who play chess and who like the science fiction, can I say that these are related? No. And as I say, when I do a data integration, I need only distinct variables for my studies. I need unrelated variables for my studies so that I can identify what are the impacts of these variables on my problem statement. correct? What are the impact of these variables on my environment, right? And that's the reason I do this correlation analysis, and I find out whether the two variables are related. If they are related, I can remove one of the variable and can just keep another variable, because both variables are going to lead towards the same analysis. तो दोनों को क्यों रखना है, एक को निकालना है और एक को रखना है. So this is what is the role of calculation of correlation in my data integration. I hope you have understood this. Similarly, I can have one more formula for correlation analysis. So this was my chi-square test, and I have my Pearson correlation coefficient also. Correct. Now for going to this Pearson correlation coefficient, again we will go back to our Excel and we will understand the Pearson correlation coefficient as well. So let me go back to my Excel. Yes. So this is clear with the chi-square test. Okay, so let's come back to this Pearson correlation coefficient. So here I have a data of the student. You can see here very well. And what I've said, there are marks of the students in math and marks of the students in the science. Now my task is to find out whether this maths and science are having marks in the maths and science are having any relation with each other. Correct. Now this I can do with the Pearson correlation coefficient also. So let us see how to do this. So let us go back. The first task which we need to do is we have to note down this in the vertical manner. Correct. So let me note it down. So I have this 5, 6. Then I have 7, 6. What does it mean? Marks in maths and marks in science. Say these are the roll numbers of the students. So roll number 4 has received marks 3 in maths and 1 in science. Even the roll number 5 has received marks 6 in maths and 5 in science. Correct. Now the simple I need to have some calculations for this Pearson correlation coefficients, and these calculations I will be doing now. Correct. So the first calculation which I need is just x into y. So this is the maths is my x. So let me symbolize this. So this maths is my x and science is my y. You can represent in any way, whichever you want. So anything can be x and y, that's not a problem. So now what I'm doing, I will be just having this x into y. So this into this. Correct. Very simple. So I hope you have understood this. So this is my 30. Similarly, I will do x into y for all the values. The next part is I need to calculate the x square. So I will be having this x square value over here. So this is my x square. Why am I doing this all is because I need to find out this Pearson correlation coefficient, and for that purpose I am calculating this basic part for Pearson correlation coefficient. So then y square I will be calculating. So this is my y square. So I have this xy, x square and y square. Then I need a summation of it, right? Generally we do the summation everywhere. So I need a summation of this, summation of x, summation of y. So that will be my sum of all the values of x. Then I have sum of all values of y, sum of x into y, sum of x square and sum of y square. Correct? So I have all these values together. Correct? All these values are together with me. The next part is I need to calculate this mean. You can see what is the formula for mean? Mean is summation of x divided by number of elements. Correct? So here I will be calculating the mean of it. So I can have the summation divided by kitne observed incidents है, 5 observed incidents है, because I have observed the marks of 5 students. So I have 5 observed incidents. So it will be the summation of x divided by number of incidences. So that is my 6. Then I can have the summation of y. Correct. and then I will be having this covariance. So look, what is this covariance formula? All of you are able to see this covariance ka formula. I hope you all are able to see this covariance ka formula. Hello? I hope you all are able to see the covariance formula there. Correct? So
Yes.
covariance formula is, covariance is summation of xy by n minus x square and sorry x bar and y bar. X bar y bar क्या होता है? Mean होता है. Correct? X bar y bar is my mean and summation of xy by n. N is my number of incidences. So what I will do? Summation of xy. Right? Summation of xy is this 177 divided by n. What is my n? N is 5. 5 number of incidences I had. And then minus what? X bar into y bar. So 6 into 5.2. Correct. So this covariance is coming as 4.2. Correct. I hope you all have understood how this covariance has been calculated. Right. Next, what we have to do is we need to calculate the standard deviation. Now, what is the standard deviation? एक सिंपल आपको टर्म बताती हूँ, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन क्या है. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, सी एक तो चीज है कि हाउ मच योर वैल्यूज आर डेविएटिंग फ्रॉम ईच अदर, राइट? और इन अदर वर्ड्स यू कैन से दैट how much your values are scattered from each other, how much your values are scattered from each other. So what does it mean? See, suppose I have numbers like this 1 2 1 3 2 3, right? So this is my data. I can say that these are having, they are not very much scattered. Scattered है क्या ये numbers? नहीं. All these 6 values are playing between number 1, 2 and 3 itself. Correct. I can have this is increase like this. So I can say the 12 values, but all are between value 1, 2 and 3. I can say 18 values, but all are between number 1, 2 and 3. So they are not much scattered. All the 18 values are nearby to each other. So there is no much deviation between the values. There is no much deviation between the data. There is no much deviation between the observed data. Correct? Why do I say like this? Because the scope of scattering of a data, or the scope of the scatteredness of value is very less. They are all between 1, 2 and 3. Correct? And now suppose, take one more example. I have values something like this: 1, 8, 2, 10, 18, 99, 45, 23, I have 89, I have 45, I have something like 100, then I have 500, then I can have 1000, I can have something more like this. So like this. So now can you tell me whether this the second values which I have just entered, what is the scope of this? Are they scattered? Yes, they are very much scattered. They are starting from the range of this, just 14 values is from 1 to say 1 crore, correct? Or how much it is? Yes, it is almost 1 to 10 crores, correct? So they are much scattered, right? So they are much deviated from each other, right? So these values are going to have very high value of standard deviations. The one which has a less scatteredness will have the low value of standard deviation. I hope you understood what do you mean by standard deviation. So let us go back to our Pearson correlation coefficient, and here we will calculate the standard deviation for x and standard deviation of y. How to calculate the standard deviation of x and y? So it is a square root of summation of x square. Okay? So we have the summation of x square divided by, see, summation of x square is my 200, correct? So I have this summation of x square. I hope you all are able to see this summation of x square. So this x square divided by n is number of incidents, minus mean of x का square. So mean of x कितना था? The mean of x was this 6. का square and then square root of it. This is what going to tell me the standard deviation. From the formula also you will be able to find it easily that how much my value is deviating from my mean. इसीलिए हम माइनस मीन का स्क्वायर करते हैं. आपको समझ में आ रहा है कि माइनस मीन का स्क्वायर क्यों कर रहे हैं हम लोग, कि मेरे डेटा का जो एवरेज है स्क्वायर का, हाउ मच इट इज डेविएटिंग फ्रॉम द मीन का स्क्वायर ऑफ डेटा. सो हाउ मच दे आर स्कैटर्ड फ्रॉम द मीन. मीन क्या होता है आपका, सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी ऑफ डेटा होता है, मीन जो सेंट्रल वैल्यू ऑफ माई डेटा है विच कैन explain the feature of my data or explain the value of my data is my mean, correct? So the value of my data, how much it is deviating from the mean, this is what we are calculating from standard deviation, right? From the formula also we can observe it very well. So what we have to do, we need to find out the standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y, both the values. So let me give it to you directly. So standard deviation of x is equal to, standard deviation of x is coming as 2. You all can calculate at your end. Standard deviation of x is calculated as 2, and then standard deviation of y is calculated as 2.31. You can do it at your end, but this is what I have calculated for myself. Okay, so here we have, initially we have found the covariance, and then we have found the standard deviation of x and y, and lastly we will be calculating this correlation coefficient, the Pearson correlation coefficient. So this, the value of R, which is also called as a Pearson correlation coefficient, is calculated as covariance divided by standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y. So covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So let us have the formula. So R is calculated as, so R हम calculated कर रहे हैं, कैसे कर रहे हैं, which is equal to this covariance divided by क्या है, standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Am I right? So I have got the value of R at 0.909. So it's almost like a 0.9, correct? So I have received this value of R as 0.9. So this is what my Pearson correlation coefficient. Now what does this value say? What do I understand from R? Because see, only calculating the values is not important when we go for the statistics or when we go for the analysis purpose. I should be able to interpret what does it mean, correct? So what do we mean by this 0.9? So let's look at this. If my R, that is my Pearson correlation coefficient, is equal to 1, then my relation is perfectly positive. What does it mean? If the value of x increases, value of y will also increase. What does it mean? Suppose, say I can say that, let me recollect some example for this. It's a case like, if I keep, if I decided to introduce two similar products, right? Suppose I say that the way my bread is getting sold, my butter will also get sold in the same manner. If people try to buy two breads, of course they will buy two slabs of butter also, because people have the habit of eating bread and butter together. That is my positive correlation. If my bread sale improves, my butter sale will also improve. Now let me tell you what do you mean by the negative correlation then. If the price of atom is increased, the sale of atom will be decreased automatically. Correct? कल जाके मोबाइल का, say I have an example, say take examples of Oppo mobile. We have in a range up to 20 to 30,000. Suppose it is drastically got improved to 1 lakh. Correct? As the prices increase drastically, the sale will automatically decrease. correct? So that is my negative correlation, correct? I hope you have understood positive correlation and negative correlation. So suppose the value of R is 1, is near to 1, then I have a perfect positive correlation. What does it mean? One increase, the other definitely increase with the same. I will have, if I try to plot the graph on X and Y axis, I will have exact 45-degree ka lines. So that is my perfect positive relation. The way my X increases, in a similar manner, my Y also increases in the same speed, same rate, right? If this R is greater than 0.75, then I have the high positive correlation. If it is between 0.3 to 0.75, it is a moderate positive correlation. And if this R is negative, then as I said, it will be a negative correlation. I hope you understood this positive correlation and negative correlation concept. So in my given numerical, I have the value of R, which is 0.9, which means it is very nearby to 1. So my relation is positive relation. So what does it say? As as my marks of maths are increasing, marks of science are also getting increased, right? The student who score good in maths definitely going to score good in science also. What does it mean? The student have the similar liking for the maths and science. So this is what is the implication of R. Understood all of you? What do you mean by this implication of R? R क्या है? Pearson correlation coefficient है. Correct? So let me go back to our PPT now. So let me go to my PPT. Correct? So this is what is saying here. यहाँ पे बताया है कि RAB if AB positively correlated है, 0 से उसका value 0 से ऊपर है तो 0 से नीचे है तो negative correlated है and 0 है तो these both variables are independent. They do not have any relation with each other. So this is what my Pearson correlation coefficient says. When we go and visually analyze it, right? When I go and visually analyze it, you can see this ये जो सबसे नीचे वाला दिख रहा है ग्राफ का रो, सबसे नीचे वाला जो ग्राफ का रो है, there is my positive correlation. आप देख सकते हो पॉजिटिव, ये सबसे लास्ट वाला है तो 1 लिखा है, देखो 1 लिखा है उसके ऊपर, तो उसका R का वैल्यू 1 है. Why it is 1? Because they both variables are strongly related. There is no dispersion in them. 0.9 का देख सकते हो, 0.8 का देख लो, 0.7 का देखो, 0.6 का देखो, right? So here how you can understand the scatteredness of data, how the values are related with each other. So that's the reason this is called as a scattered plot. It says about how the things are related with each other, correct? Now if I go to this, if I go to this negative values, you can see here ये उल्टा है पूरा, -1 जो है तो पूरा उल्टा है. इसका मतलब जब मेरा y हाई है तो मेरा x का वैल्यू लो है, x का वैल्यू 0 है तो y का वैल्यू बहुत हाई है, राइट? When my x का वैल्यू इज वेरी हाई, y का वैल्यू इज वेरी लो, correct? So that is my negative correlation. It means my two variables are negatively related. One increases, other decreases. So my R comes as -1 over here. You can see at the top of it, I have a value as -1. And then once I have more scatteredness, there will be the less relationship between the data. I hope you are able to visually analyze also. The scatter plots help us to visually analyze the relation between the data. They just see, suppose I plot the data, can I tell immediately कि इसमें कितना relation है value का? नहीं बोल सकते सिर्फ data देख के. I must go for mathematical formula and calculate the value of R. तभी मैं mathematically बोल सकती हूँ कि ये दो variable से 0.5 related है, ये दो variable से 0.6 से related है, ये दो variable है जो -0.8 से related है. ये सब में जब मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला में फीड करती हूँ वैल्यूज, तभी बोल सकती हूँ कि उसका एग्जैक्ट व्हाट इज एट व्हाट परसेंटेज दे आर रिलेटेड विद ईच अदर, राइट? अदरवाइज जस्ट प्लॉट टेल्स मी वेदर दे आर पॉजिटिवली और नेगेटिवली रिलेटेड, बट इट डोंट गिव मी द एग्जैक्ट एनालिसिस, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट इज माय डेटा इंटीग्रेशन. ये क्यों हम पढ़ रहे थे कि डेटा इंटीग्रेशन के लिए मुझे रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल को रिमूव करने हैं. और रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल कौन से है? जो एक दूसरे से स्ट्रांगली रिलेटेड है, वो रिडंडेंट वेरिएबल्स है. राइट? क्यों रिमूव करने मुझे? क्योंकि सेम चीज दोनों वेरिएबल बताते हैं, तो व्हाई शुड आई वेस्ट माय टाइम इन एनालाइजिंग बोथ वेरिएबल्स विच आर टेलिंग मी सेम थिंग? I need a distinct variable which are going to give me a distinct analysis of my data, और इसीलिए मुझे redundant variables को remove करने हैं. Understood all of you? And that's the reason in a data integration, this data redundancy removal is very much important, which we do from help of chi-square test and Pearson correlation coefficient. Even I have the Spearman correlation coefficient also, but that we are not conducting here. And then we will go for the data reduction techniques also.